Yo, so it's Ben McBean here. This is my second or third YouTube video. This is about my mental health. At the minute I've been going through a lot, should we say. Nothing that I haven't been through before, but it's just come back. Now, for some people's mental health, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, whatever you want to call it, it can be you go a bit, like in the films, there's always a guy going mental, some old veteran in the corner drinking beer or whiskey, getting into fights. That is part of PTSD, right? But there's other versions of it where you just end up sitting there in a quiet, dark room, and that's where you feel comfortable. And, you know, you kind of keep your mouth shut. You have a beer, but quietly. And that's a bit of me. Rather than have 4 cans of lager, a pack of 4, I might have a whole crate, a pack of 10 to 14, do you know what I mean? And I'm not drunk, I'll just drink it slowly, quietly in a dark room and then go to bed. And those times have come back. And I say unfortunate, it's not even unfortunate, it's just a way of life. It's like, I got blown up by a bomb, lost my arm, well, I didn't lose my arm, it got ripped off, my right leg was blown off as well. And part of that is, if I now have a bit of a bad back or I've got a bit of hearing loss, it's a part of being a soldier, fighting, shooting guns and getting blown up. So every so often, I'm supposed to have hearing issues, or my back's a bit sore, or my arm plays up. It's a part of it. And that's basically what's happening now. Like, another part of it is PTSD. Another part of it is I'm supposed to wake up after what I've gone through and every so often go through some crap. Now, you get some people where they've gone through the same as me, and I don't know everyone's mindset, but if you've gone through what I've gone through or something similar, you're going to be similar. But some people choose to make out like, oh, no, that's not the case, I'm fine, I'm actually really happy, and if anything, I'm much better than what I was before I got blown up by a bomb. All right, sweet. Really? The truth is, this is what it can be like. Some days you're cool, some days you're, normal, and some days you feel like crap. Some days your mind's not right. Some days you wake up and just could start drinking, or like there was times years ago where I couldn't even taste a cup of tea. I couldn't eat food. If I did eat food, I couldn't taste it. I couldn't taste a cup of tea. You wouldn't even notice the weather. It could be hammering it down or stupidly hot, and you have no idea. You don't know what's real or what's not. Your mind would say, oh, yesterday you bumped into so-and-so, but you weren't sure if you did or not. It all just jumbles up into one. And it's so frustrating because you're in your own world and other people live in a different world. And they notice that you're in a different world to them. So then you've got to lie and make out like you're not in your world, you're in their world. I remember once I was in Sainsbury's and I bumped into this guy who I hadn't seen pretty much since school. And I've been drinking the night before, and I was a bit like, ugh, just because I felt so low. And he was like, mate, man, look at the state of you, man. Did you go out last night? I hadn't, but I was like, yeah, man, I went to Revolutions. And he was like, oh, Revs, I was in Revs last night. It was like a Sunday. I was like, oh, right. Yeah, mate, I was upstairs. He's like, upstairs is closed on a Sunday. I was like, nah, what happened was me, and you're making up these lies. And at some point, he knew I was lying. I knew that he knew I was lying. And then it was really awkward. And I just thought, oh, that's when I thought, if I just don't go out, I won't bump into anyone. So by then staying in, it then meant by staying in all the time, when I had to go out to get milk, bread, I didn't do online shopping or anything like that. That's when my anxiety built up, because it was like, I want to go out, go shop, but what if I see someone? Now I'm wearing a hoodie up. Now I'm leaving at certain times, like first thing in the morning when it's dead, or late at night when it's dead. I'm creeping around the shop like this. Then it creates panic attacks, because then you're like, oh, what if someone sees me? So now let's worry about a scenario that hasn't even occurred. But panic attacks physically have an effect where my fingers would be like this and I couldn't lift my arm up and I'm trying to breathe. you know. And at first, people will be like, oh, it's all right, man, I got you, you're all right, you're okay. But at some point, if you have loads of panic attacks, it does kind of piss people off, because you're just this liability. That then makes it worse, because you either then stay in even more, or you try to force yourself to go out, knowing that you're like, and it's just a horrible, vicious cycle. And I wouldn't say I snapped out of it. One day, I just was no longer that way. And unfortunately, not unfortunately, but those things have just come back. Why? I don't know. But that's what it's like to be... it don't matter what service I've served in, what regiment. It's just what it's like to have gone to war, get blown up, survive, and then you're living with mental health issues.